Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 6, episode 39. Tonight's the sports edition, Andy.
Yes, here to talk some sports.
It's Monday, August 4th, 2025, and it's like we predicted, it's going to be all baseball here for a while.
Well, it's mostly baseball. I do have a lot of other little things in there. It was a busy weekend sports-wise. I'm going to touch a little bit of almost every sport there is.
A lot going on. One thing that was busy in the sports world was the Major League Baseball trade deadline, Andy.
Holy cow.
Now, a lot of action by multiple teams. A lot of things took place. Twins were very active. I remember a lot of Twins fans over the last couple of years in particular said, why don't we do anything at the trade deadline? Why do we do nothing? Why do we just every year do nothing at the trade deadline? Why
they
can't
made up for that, boy?
Well, this year it was their dream come true, right?
Well, and them and the Padres picked up a lot of little pieces too, and the Mets picked up some bullpen help, and some other teams made some pickups that maybe in a couple of years might pan out.
We'll see how it all shakes out. Trivia question. Which Major League Baseball franchise has a record for most trades at the trade deadline, 24-hour window in the trade deadline, and the history of the trade deadline? What team has the most trades of all time?
All right.
We'll get the answer at the end of the episode. Stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. There we are. That's us. Going to start out with something. Go back in the Wayback Machine there. Sherman and Mr. Peabody.
Mr. Peabody.
It was on this day 46 years ago. Nolan Ryan beat the piss out of Robin Ventura.
Oh my gosh, one of the best.
Robin Ventura, the only guy to get 6 hits off of Nolan Ryan. Boom.
Now, Andy, what would be the equivalent today for the younger listeners who aren't familiar with this? This was the old stud, the up-and-coming young stud.
Or Scherzer or Verlander.
Okay.
One after Juan Soto.
Or Fernando Tatis.
He wasn't that big. He was that big a guy, or popular guy, but
Ronald Acuna Jr. maybe.
Brian Buxton. All-star caliber, but not like a Soto or Judge.
Ventura was the young superstar up and coming, and that's what this just notable because Nolan Ryan was the old guy.
See, Nolan's got his tongue sticking out there too. He ain't taking his crap.
Infamous photo on this day.
Beautiful.
Love it.
The 7C tournament, Crow River. There you see our winners and losers brackets, how we're sitting right now. Glencoe and Le Sueur have moved on to the third round there. Cologne and Belle Plaine are down in, for lack of better words, the losers bracket. And Arlington and Broughton. And both of those games in losers bracket are state qualifiers. Glencoe and Le Sueur have already qualified for state by winning their games. So really, after the Cologne Belle Plaine game and the Arlington Broughton game, you'll know your 4 teams going to state. Now it's just for seedings and winning the championship and stuff like that.
Draft.
I mean, you still play to win. Don't get me wrong, but a little breathing's gonna be a little easier then.
The state teams all get 3 draft picks for pitchers after the conclusion of the Sunday game.
Yep. So after that, I mean, we know the 4 teams going, but we'll see who goes from there. Now, if you're out at 420 High Street, you would have saw this old man and these 3 young whippersnappers out there. The Grounds Crew, sponsored by your friends at the Sports and Songs podcast. And you'll see them this next weekend out there at Highland Park. So show them some love and respect.
And they're at the District 7B.
They're only at B1. Yep. And here's
us.
Here's our bracket right now after the pool play, round robin tournament, whatever you want to call it. It's a Young America and Delano playing Thursday night. Plato and the Watertown on Friday. Basically, you win those games, you're in. There too, the losers bracket. You win that first game on Saturday, you're in. So then again, the rest is just for seeding and bragging rights after that. But It's nice
So,
to win your tournament
yeah, Andy, it's basically 1 game Thursday, 1 game Friday, 3 on
on Saturday.
Saturday, and then the championship
On
possibly, if needed, a second game. But that Saturday is the one you wanna get to and try to get there and just plant your butt all day. I mean, that's one of
Yep.
the days arguably in baseball here locally.
Yep. Now here, I didn't have a bracket for A, but here's what I found on the state sheet, if I recall right. These teams are all advanced. They're in. We just have to see where they go afterwards in their next round of tournament games. So you got Shakopee, Chaska, Burnsville, and Waconia. Not a shocker, 1 through 4. So congrats to those guys.
No upsets yet.
Bristol, 91,032 Major League Baseball attendance record. It was supposed to be 2 games. They only got 1 in. Speedway Classic between the Braves and Reds sold a record amount of regular season tickets, but was mirrored by one logical issue.
Uh-oh.
Many concession stands ran out of food during the first rain delay, which lasted 2 hours and 17 minutes. They ran out of food and beer, and the fan zone was overwhelming, one Reds fan said. What happened is you have 2 games planned. You have 90,000 people. They get to the bottom of the first, and the skies are opened. Now, so they show the stadium. Of course, there's no one there because they're all underneath the overhangs. They're all in the concessions area, eating and drinking. A lot more than you would if you were sitting there sweating it out. So here it is. That game's night was suspended due to weather. Tickets will be valid when the Classic resumed on the next day at the 3rd at 1. They never got the second game in. So they just had the 1 game. And there's the box score from it. The Braves win. Da 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 da. Rah rah rah. Thanks for coming. Which leads me to my soapbox.
Uh-oh.
I'm not bitter about last year on this, but it bothered me last year. Mets and Braves, both teams playing each other at Atlanta. The game meant something for both of them. They knew the Hurricanes were coming. The big TV money said, oh, I don't know if we can move the games. And they all got rained out and had to be rescheduled. It was a cluster. It was a mess. We still got it in, but big TV money stepped in and said no. That's what happened this weekend at Bristol, in this reporter's opinion. Then they have their little concerts beforehand with some bands I've never heard of. Maybe I've heard of them. I just didn't care. They all had to circle the track like they did in trucks, like race car drivers do before a race, because it was at a racetrack. You know rain is coming. Move this up. Maybe do that tomorrow night instead. Let's get this game in as fast as we can. Because if I lived within 300 miles of Bristol, I would have bought a ticket in a room and gone that night for one of the games. Oh, but your ticket's good for tomorrow. Happy days. I won't be here. I'm selling it. Which, if I would have gone to Boston for a game or LA for a game and it gets rained out, I'd do the same thing. But if you knew there was rain coming and you had a chance to move the game up a few hours and you didn't, because Fox said, I paid how many millions of dollars? This bloody game's going to be on in prime time on a Saturday night, young man. Well, guess what? It wasn't.
Fair enough.
Some local news. Local boy Nolan Anderson, commits to the Gophers for boys basketball. Rah, rah, rah.
Nice.
More local news. WNBA Rookie of the Month, Paige Beckers. Local girl.
Like it.
And some more sports notes here, just a few things. Breaking news from the UFL. New owner, they got permission to play at Lowe's.com Field in Columbus, Ohio, which is where the soccer team plays. So they hold just over 20,000 there. So maybe a team's there. 4 teams are moving, maybe only 2. This new guy took over the league. It's all kind of up in the air. I don't know how much Dwayne Johnson still has to say with it. They might be on the 6 teams again. Who knows? I don't know why this league doesn't get more attention and love, but just football fans make me scratch my head. USA Swimming in Singapore for the tournaments they had down there took home 29 medals, 9 gold, 11 silver, 9 bronze. They got the record for most medals and for most gold medals and total medal count, all that fun stuff. Lots of records broken. This stuff gets me very excited for the Olympics coming up in a couple of years. I've always liked swimming for the same reason. A lot of people say they like golf because they can relate to it. I golf. I like golf. Yeah, but you shoot 115 and these guys are shooting in the 80. Anyway, that's how much I like swimming. I can splash around the water. I can figure it out. I guess I can relate to it. I don't golf, so I can't relate to how he feels on that shot. Basketball is popular. Everybody could shoot a basketball. We all done that in the backyard. But I think swimming doesn't get the love it deserves. We all swim. Some not so great, but we all get the basics idea. Down and back. Diving, you jump off a board, try not to splash. We all get the idea. Why it doesn't get more respect and love, I don't know. I got just one more thing. Did you see this at the Portland Pickles minor league game?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Some fan gets an at-bat for fan appreciation night, ends up going yard on a 2-run homer. Closed circuit to Jared Dusky and Brad Johnson. Fan appreciation day. I want to see Jeremy the Rock Quass up there in that bat.
There we go.
Make it happen.
That got plenty of airtime.
That guy running the bases was the best. Okay, first of all, that pitcher for Portland, he better been buying for the rest of his team that night because, son, you dished up salad to some guy out of the stands. Really? Now come on.
It's too much.
I mean, my God. But it was double. And that's the fun part of minor league baseball. Stuff like that could happen. We need that to happen at a town ball game down here on Fan Appreciation Day. Although we'll probably get kicked out of the state tournament from having a roster player on or something like that. But,
Well, speaking of state tournament, there are every year we get this now with the state ball in Minnesota. Teams with illegal players and eligible rosters,
Someone forgot to sign their contract. Yep.
Someone forgot to dot the I and cross the T. And this year, a little more of the same. There's been a couple already. We don't need to get into it here, but
Crow River Valley League Baseball.com has it all on there.
Yeah, it's
NBA site has it on there.
There's always some. And Minnesota State Board says zero tolerance. We don't care if it was a mistake. We don't care if it was intentional, if it was just a random thing that didn't get done on time. They said we have to treat everyone the same. So we're getting that time of year where we're getting these tweets from the team saying, thanks for a great season. Thanks for the fans. We won't be continuing. Our year is done. And some of those teams are saying, look, our team's still available. If you guys want to get in some friendly games or some tune-up games for your own, we can play because we've got warm bodies ready to go. So I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. They made the offer. But boy, with Class A, B, and C this year for state baseball, all the first round of the playoffs are going on, whether it's called the districts, regions, or sections. They're all halfway done now. The rest will be this coming weekend, and then we're off to the state. I think the bracket reveal show is a week from tonight. I mean, it's going to be
up next Sunday.
And so that's going to be fun. Now, Major League Baseball, lots of trade news, things like that going on. Minor League Baseball, things are in full swing. UFL, you talked about already. Football, NFL had the Hall of Fame game. Now this week starts in earnest exhibition games. There's only 3 for each team, but they'll kick off here this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, game 1. They'll play 3. All the teams are in camp. People are starting up their fantasy drafts and getting their dates set for the fantasy draft. We're getting into the fall season with this. But we have a trivia question, Andy.
Yes. About trades. Yes, go ahead.
Trade deadline. Major League Baseball has a trade deadline. They lock in a date and say, look, here's 5:00 p.m. on the last Friday of July. That's it. And then the lineups, rosters are locked going forward. Now, Andy, we know that I think trades can still go on like in football, but the trade deadline to get all this stuff going back and forth and all this minutia, all this wild stuff going on, they just put a deadline on there for all these multiple teams and trades and all this.
And I think you could pick up a non-roster, someone off the free agent wire. I believe you could still pick up guys till September for playoff eligibility, I believe.
Okay, yes. Yeah, the rosters are not locked. Sorry about that. But you can still pick up free agent guys, but
Waived guys, yep.
now the big name players are off the market that were with 2 months left to go in the season, there's people on
I'm going to
1-year
make
deals.
one prediction here on that.
Yes. What is
Player
it?
that was waived. This player was waived before the trade deadline. And he might get picked up. It could be on a playoff team. Don't be surprised if you see Rich Hill's name on someone's roster pretty soon. The Royals did cut him.
I did see that name
The
bouncing
left-handed arm. If you got games coming up and you got 14 games in 15 days at the end of the season and you're a playoff contender, why you wouldn't pick up an arm for a couple weeks when rosters expand? I don't know why you wouldn't. What do you got to lose? Not saying he's got a playoff roster, but when rosters expand, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a phone call.
That's a great thing about being a veteran lefty pitcher that does not get hurt and is a rubber arm to some extent, can keep going. So the trivia question is, which Major League Baseball franchise holds the record for most trades in the 24-hour window leading up to the deadline of all time?
I'm going to think there's a Vec involved with this. I'm going to say it's the Cleveland Indians.
Probably a Vec. Yeah, good guess. Not right. The answer was the Twins on Friday. The Minnesota Twins broke the record. The 2025 Minnesota Twins broke the record for most trades. I think it was 10. 10 players were traded and leading up to the trade deadline. And so, Andy, just for the regular listeners out there, usually you'll see a team make a move or two. You're either a buyer or a seller. And if you're one of those, you might be in the mix for 1, 2, maybe 3, but you don't see even maybe 4 or 5, do you?
Very rarely.
So
very rarely.
10 the record, and the market. I mean, the market just drives a lot of this stuff too. People are saying, how come the Twins have all these great guys? Well, they don't really, but there's not much out there for relief pitching or certain types of starters or relievers. It's
that's what we traded. We traded away one superstar, but we traded away a lot of 4th and 5th outfielders, long relievers, setup guys, not the guys you can say we're one player short. Well, we had a team of one player shorts. So
when the ball got rolling, they just kept going. I mean, the offers were coming in. And I did a show. I'm going to put the link of it here on the Twins. It was a Twins bonus episode going through all 13 players the Twins received and all 11 players the Twins that departed. And the reasoning behind some of these, some I think you wanted to move, some you probably didn't have plans on, but the money was so there, the demand supply was there that you couldn't turn some of these deals down.
Yeah, players were desperate. Teams were desperate. They want to win now. They know their window's closing. Hey, we need Jax as a pitcher. We need Durant as a pitcher. We need Harrison as an outfielder. Harris Binder as an outfielder. What do you want? Okay, I'll give you this. Okay, fine, this guy too. Teams were desperate. We took advantage of it. Now, can we take advantage of it in a year or two and make it worth something?
Yeah,
yes, we can if we fire Rocco and get a decent manager in here.
It's almost like you've said it before, the A's had some historically bad teams. The White Sox a few years ago, historically bad teams. You're bad a couple of 2 or 3 years in a row, and you start piling up these number 1 overall picks. These are the teams to look out for, like Baltimore a few years ago. Yep. Now they're strong. White Sox will be good in a few years. The A's, some of these Twins guys are top prospects, top 100 pipeline guys.
Look at the Miami Marlins the last month. They're up to a 500 record right now. They just swept the Yankees.
There's a lot of talent out there, and if the talent wasn't being used the right way, or maybe they weren't performing. I know on the bonus episode I did mention in particular the Twins bullpen. When those guys went out there, I was a 50-50. I was like, they're either going to shut the door and win the game, or they're going to serve up 2 homers and we're going to lose. That you never knew from night to night what was going to happen. So I don't have an issue with all the relievers going out the door because they were in some cases tough to watch to begin with. But
Right.
that's a lot of trades. And so we get comments of the Twins team is depleted. There's no one left. So that's that's not the case. There's guys called up. There's guys in AAA. The draft just took place. The Twins got 21 players in the draft this last month. They picked up 13 more here. They picked up some veterans. They picked up some young guys. But yes, there's a 16-year-old pitcher, as part of one of these deals.
Right.
A 21, an 18-year-old, very young guys. And like you say, in a couple of years, it's going to be a good problem to have. The Twins have a very good farm system to begin with. And now you really load it up. So it's going to be interesting. But that episode is out there. A lot of other teams made good deals. I know you mentioned the Padres did some really very nifty, crafty, creative work to get the guys they needed. It's very interesting. So now baseball will see what the next month is August, leading up to Labor Day, and then the real hunt will be on. The playoff chase will be on for September.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get the other thing. You're going to get injuries. You're going to get the Yankees have had some injuries, big names going down, and so you try to.
The Braves pitching injuries this year killed them.
And so you always have those the intangibles. Now the odd thing with the Twins is Max Kepler went to a free agent in the offseason, went to the Phillies as their outfielder, has not had a good year. They were thinking of DFAing him, cutting him loose. They don't know what to do with him. And now you get Harrison Bader. So now that'll probably spell the end of Max Kepler's time there. One Twin taking the spot of another former Twin, and Kepler could be looking for a job here in the offseason. And that's what it is. It is what it is. You may like it or you may not, but it's a lot of things going on. I couldn't imagine the payroll department there for the Twins getting all these things done and whatnot.
Yeah, HR there was pretty busy this week filling out paperwork, boy.
Very, very busy. And so potential new owner coming, lots of changes. Nothing was said as far as Rocco. I didn't hear anything about that, but one person I did hear, Andy, you're going to like this. Someone did not like the trades and said, I can't believe the decisions Rocco Baldelli's making on all these trades. So trades for the listeners out there, that's general manager's job to do those things. That's the owner who might come in and make some calls. Team president, some decisions that are being made that it's nothing to do with the manager at all. Their job is just to manage the day-to-day games. And so interesting thing now, the Twins are in Detroit for 3-game series against the number 1 team in the American League. So this will be interesting a couple of weeks here. But that's all I've got for sports, I think.
Yeah, it's winding down here because that baseball playoffs winding up. We haven't been going over the standings really because with expanded playoffs, there's really not much change in who's in the playoffs. They're just jumping spots a lot. And so the Miami Marlins are up to a 500 record. They've been hot. They're still 6 games out. The Twins are 7.5 out or something like that. There's a few teams fighting for that last wild card spot with so many teams in there. We're going to wait a couple more weeks before we start really doing the wild card watch type of thing. Mets and Phillies are flipping back and forth for first place every other day. Other teams have got a big lead. They got small, and now it's getting bigger again like the Tigers. Cleveland's coming on. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting.
If you follow the Phillies with the closer there, Minnesota did provide the music, the entrance music there for Mr. Duran.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his or the team's or Major League Baseball who owns it.
I read an article about that. I think the Twins team put it together and compiled it for Joan Duran to come in as an entrance music, and then they did the light show and all this other things that went on. It put a lot of time into making this, and so they said, basically the Twins, we don't have any use for that now. And so they got in a connection with Joan Duran and said, do you want it there? Should we, get in communication and send the email with the file as an attachment, and said, here you go, put it into your loudspeakers and do it. They did it, and they're going to use that now going forward. So all these good stories behind the scenes that are taking place.
And here's the other thing about Duran. Not only does he get to come with his own music and entrance, the manager for the Phillies changed numbers so Duran can have his number.
Oh, really?
He wore Duran's number, so he changed so he can have it. So they're doing their best to make this guy feel at home. So they're kind of making him, look, we got your entrance music. Hey, here's your jersey. you know, hey, we cut the crusts off your sandwich. You know, they're
Yes.
just giving everything he wants.
It's a lot of getting used to all the changes and things like that. But yes, the Twins, boy, it's going to be, they're going to need name tags in the dugout.
Right.
That's all I've got here for sports. We'll see you next Monday.
Bye.